Alright, here is day 7 of reading the Quran. You guys were pretty helpful in answering my questions yesterday. Maybe one of the biggest ones I asked was, does Allah need us to worship Him? And answer that you guys kind of gave me was no. He doesn't really depend on us, but we depend on Him to give us the morals and guidelines for life, and worshiping Him is a side effect. So that kind of answered my question on that. Today, I'm going to be reading the chapter Al-Araf, or The Heights, chapter 7, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. I had a few more questions too, but I'll leave that to the end of the video. So I'll read this and get back to you. Alright, that was a pretty eventful chapter. It went over a lot of content, a lot of Torah stories, a lot of kind of like confirming things from the Torah, since by default, like, I assume that the Quran doesn't take all of it to be true, but only the things that Allah specifies are true, as it's gotten corrupted over time. So these are some of the stories that I went over. And I was a bit disappointed when I saw this first story. It's the story of Adam and Eve, because I'm kind of rooting for Islam. Like, I want to believe in it. It's like my approach, like going into learning about Islam and reading the Quran. And seeing the story of Adam and Eve here, it kind of just made me think, how could that possibly work? So I'm just wondering, when was the timeline in this? Like, if Adam and Eve like really were the first two humans, were they from Africa 300, like when Homo sapiens were around, like 300,000 years ago? Is that like when that was taking place? Like, that seems a bit odd for like a supernatural event. And the thing about Islam is that it's not pick and choose. Like with Christians and Jews, like they'll pick and choose things that are right and wrong. Like obviously, like slavery is wrong. They pick and choose to not include that in like their belief. Earth wasn't made 6,000 years ago. Like, we know that now. Like, they're like, yeah, we'll just glance over that. It's more so for like moral teachings. But with Islam's, it's a lot really literal, is like what people have been telling me, and like my interpretation of it. And like everything is the truth in here. So I'm just wondering how that fits into science, because like we know that it wasn't just two humans. It was like a series of evolution from multiple parts of the Earth, and it wasn't linear either. It started from like a whole line of different ancestors and different species. So how does Adam and Eve fit in here? Not looking at it from the angle of like criticism, just wanting to learn like how Islam like adapted it into the modern environment, as people tell me that the Quran is timeless and Allah is all-knowing, it knows all these innovations. So literally, like, where do Adam and Eve sit in on the timeline, and like what's their place? Also, is there any difference with like the story of Adam and Eve like in the Quran than it is in the Torah? Are anything clarified or specified, since like it's been corrupted over time? Like, what's different about this story of Adam and Eve versus the one in the Torah? This chapter is also very strict on those who reject the signs even though receiving them, saying that they'll get like double the amount of fire in the afterlife. And it was just very focused on that for a good part of it. But one thing that I did like about it a bit more was that it was giving more signs of Allah, which like it previously was just saying like those who don't believe blah blah blah, like it's going to like eternal hell. But this chapter, it actually was giving signs, so like I appreciated that. And one of those signs it was talking about, I think, was the earthquake. It was going over the earthquake with Moses and Moses' battle with Pharaoh. I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm also wondering if that was if this story has changed from what was in the Torah. I don't even know if this was a story in there, or if this is like new content. Is this new, or was this already in the Torah but it's clarified here? And then in section 7, it also talks about like the creation of the earth and like the universe. One thing that I don't get here, and this is due to the English translation, so don't hate me for this, but it says, your guardian Lord is Allah, who created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. But after it says days, there's not like a parentheses, like, or long period of time. And like, obviously by science now, like we know like earth wasn't made in 6 days. But in Arabic, like the word day is like, also can mean a period of time. But why in this translation, like, it doesn't say that? Like, why doesn't it also say like, or like period of time spanning up to millions of years? Like, why doesn't it clarify like such an important part about like the creation of the earth? I don't know why. It's probably just like the translator did it wrong, but just thought that was a bit weird. But it also talks about like the universe, and I think that's pretty cool. My favorite prediction I've seen so far, and like the one I think is the most supernatural, is the expanding universe. I don't think that was covered in this chapter, But I definitely think that's like maybe the biggest sign of Islam, and like the prediction that Muhammad got correct the most. So hopefully I'll see that in a later chapter. I also just want to bring it up one more time. In section 23, it says, "Those who reject our signs, we shall gradually visit with punishment in ways they perceive not, respite while I grant upon them, for my scheme is strong and unfailing." But I'm really thinking, who is like seeing these signs, taking it as truth, and then rejecting it? Like, who is the dumb demographic that actually like knows it to be the truth and rejects it? Because I don't know if I'm in that demographic. I'm trying to like learn as much as I can, and am I rejecting these signs? I'm trying to like understand the most I can. But I don't know who Allah's referring to right here. He talks about it 20 times at least, every single chapter so far. And I'm not sure like who he's talking about. So don't have to get too far into that. Like, don't write an entire comment on that. I'll talk to a sheikh about it and have clarification there. Just one of the things that keeps getting me like a bit frustrated with Allah is like his criteria of that, and he doesn't like specify exactly like who he's talking about, like what signs they have to have seen in order to like be eligible for the curse and all of that. But that's a problem in the future to worry about. And also Allah kind of calls me out in section 24 or verse 204. He says, "When the Quran is read, listen to it with attention and hold your peace, that ye may receive mercy." Like, I'm trying to pay attention. My ADHD is kind of being called out there, but I actually thought that was a funny direct message. Let me know if I missed anything in this chapter. I know it was covering a lot. I'm not too familiar on the Torah, so I'm like, the conflict between Moses and Pharaoh was, I was trying to pick up as most of it as I could. But yeah, let me know if you have any responses to my questions, and thanks for watching. Peace.